Welcome, guys, to the Business Builder Call. So I think we have quite a lot of you guys pushing for Diamond for the end of March. So as I just said in the call, like really similar story. Look at what you did for March. Look at where you are. Look at what you need to do to hit that target for the end of March and put in the action plan now. Like how many invites a day is that? How many follow-ups a day? What worked well? If that worked well, do more of that. Okay. What didn't work well? Where is it that you perhaps got lost and didn't hit the objectives? Because if you don't call yourself out, in my opinion, on day one of the month and you're trying to hit a target by the end of the month, it's not going to happen. There's no use waiting a few days and then saying, do you know what, I'll look at it then. So just really, really think about that. And I am so excited for this retreat. I know we've got like some guys who've come out of nowhere, who like Tara's halfway to Diamond already, which is crazy. SJ, I think you're halfway to Diamond now as well. She's gunning for the retreat. Lisa, you're halfway there. Imogen, I can't see, but I don't know whether she can hear me. I know she's going for it. And Tasha and Marty, I know you're going for it as well. So the invitation is open to everybody, whether or not you're in Canada, UK, or US. Just know that, guys. And just really like do that business plan as the business owners. The other thing I just wanted to say was, if you've got coaches in your business who want to build, who perhaps, you know, you've done calls with them, they're perhaps not going where you wanted them to, or you feel like another voice would help. As I said, if it's helpful to you guys, please just ask me when I can do a 3-way call. I am more than happy to do that. If there's something that you would like my help on or with, sometimes it's just a different voice. It's like when I say on the team calls, when you hear the sound of my voice all the time, it probably just gets really boring. So sometimes people just need to hear something slightly differently, or, you know, someone might have something slightly different to say. So think about that and let's go for it in March. So we shared like the first half of the leadership training last week, or I did rather, and I am going to share the next bit. So we were talking about new leaders, what the obstacles are to people's success in their business. And the main obstacles were lack of confidence, which I think will come as zero surprise to any of you. Establishing ownership. So do you have coaches in your business who constantly lean on you, who don't set up their own challenge groups, who expect you to deliver that for them? They're going to be the obstacles to their business because they're actually not being business owners. This was something that Melanie Mitro was talking about. And it's too complicated. Sometimes people have systems that are too complicated. We've spoken about this, where perhaps you're inviting in 2 different ways and you've got a challenge group going and you've got a coach mentorship going at the same time, and it gets really complicated, and then your coach can't actually work out how they're going to do a call to action. And think about that from your respect. So if you're the leader of your team, is it easy for your team to see what you're doing? Is it easy for them to replicate? And I'd like to think, if you look at mine, you'll see that there's definitely a very kind of solid time when I'm inviting to the coaching, and I've got coach mentorship open, and I've got a sneak peek. And you'll also see when I'm heavily inviting to a challenge group, I've got challenge group visuals and I've got a challenge group start date. So think about, if you've got people in your team and they looked at your business, would they find it easy to replicate, or is it confusing? Do they find it hard to get a grasping on how that looks because perhaps you haven't got that all succinct? And that's really, really key. Melanie was talking about that. One of the books that Melanie Mitro recommended, I haven't downloaded it yet, was The One Thing by Gary Keller. She said for business development, that is a phenomenal book. So I would just write that down. And this is just absolutely timely, and I hadn't even written it like this, but she was talking about setting your month's goal and looking at your month as a new month. And she said, I sit down at the beginning of the month and I work out what I'm going to focus on this month. So write that one down. What am I going to focus on this month and what's next? So for me, what I'm focusing on right now is that I have prep week starting tomorrow. I have the full-on boot camp starting on the 9th, which is in a week's time. And then I'm going to be calling to action into my coach mentorship that will be happening mid to end of the month. Okay, I haven't locked in those dates yet, but I'm going to do that by tomorrow. Okay, this is something that I've spoken about in other calls, and it was quite good to hear that. The name of the book, Gary Keller is the author, and it's called The One Thing. This is something that we talk about, and something that Donna certainly talks about with the marketing side. It takes quite some significant number of times for somebody to see something before they're like, okay, I need to do that, because I've seen it so many times. You're just appearing over and over again. It's that consistency over time piece, which actually Louise in Leadership Live, she was talking about, if you're there all the time, they can't ignore you. They're going to eventually join you. And it's so, so true. So don't give up because no one's joined you yet, because it's got a bit hard. But Melanie was talking about, it takes 7 to 10 days to talk about an idea in your stories before it settles. No worries, Donna, I'm going to let you go. I think she's already gone. For you to talk about something before somebody thinks it's a good idea. So if you're talking about a call to action on a challenge group and you've left yourself 3 days, what's going to happen? No one's going to join you. So make sure when you're setting up that marketing calendar, which is something I spoke about at the beginning of this year, you're giving yourself enough lead time to allow those people to digest it. It takes time. They're not going to want to do it immediately. 7 to 10 days. And you want to be constantly getting in front of your people. So Melanie spoke about going live, like going live once or twice a week. Make sure that you're there and that they're seeing you talk about it 7 to 10 days. Like I usually do a 2-week lead time, if I'm being honest, into anything, because I want to get that in front of them 14 times. Yeah. Okay, and this was something that Melanie shared, and I really loved it. And it's something that Janine shared in Leadership Live a couple of weeks ago. And she said, I run my own sneak peeks. I run them on my own now. And this was something that Melanie was saying. She was saying, the only way to get somebody in your team to do really well, if they want to hit elite, which is 5-star. So if you're a business builder who wants to build a team, essentially this is what you should be thinking about doing. She said, you want to be running your own business opportunities, i.e. you want to be leading your own sneak peeks on your own, because people are coming to you to learn about the coach opportunity because they've resonated with you, not somebody else. Now, obviously, some of us work together to do sneak peeks. I think that's fine. But it actually made me really think about evaluating, okay, do we want to do sneak peeks in no more than 2? Like, I think so. What Melanie does when she does her coach sneak peek is she does a day in the life of the coach. So she goes live in that group once a month. She flushes it out like Janine does. She goes live, and she goes live probably 4 times in that day. And she said, you want to think about a day in your month where you know you have the opportunity to do that, where you have the opportunity personally to lead those 4 lives or however many lives you want to do, and that is your day in the life of a coach. She also was talking about program launches, which I thought again was so timely for now, because of course we've got the 10 rounds like excitement video, which is in your back office. If you go and find it, I shared it in the team page, and we've got that. Okay. And what she does, and I think most of us are doing this now, but if you're not, I definitely look at getting that sorted ASAP, is she sends out an email to all of her customers and coaches or all of her prospects about that. And she formulates a template that then she can reuse. We spoke about this last week, actually. I think it was Kelsey Hill that also does something similar. So start getting that out. Melanie said, the way that she gets her team to replicate, and this is something that I do with you guys, but something to think about as you build your own teams, is that she shares what she's doing in her month with the team and why she's doing it, so that they can then replicate. So you've got a clear idea of when that bootcamp starts, how you're going to call it to action, and then what your action is going to be towards the latter half of the month. So for me, it's a sneak peek, and sharing that with your team and it being visible for them to see. I've always got my visuals for you guys to use if you want them, or for you guys to use so that you can make your own. So hopefully you will see from what I've done with you, then it's just a case of doing the same for your coaches. If your coaches aren't performing, it's because perhaps they're getting confused about where they need to start and what they need to do to replicate. So make sure that your system is clear for them to see, because if it's not and you're all over the place with it, your coaches can't then, as they come in, they can't replicate. Yeah, and she said, is this activity getting me where I need to go? So she calls herself out on all of her activities that she's doing in the month, and looking at her calendar and working out, is this activity getting me where I want to go? It might be you know, I don't know what Melanie Nitro's goals are, but maybe she's like trying to build Star Diamonds. I should think so. For some of us, it's going to be building Higher Success Club numbers. So what action do you need to put in behind that to ensure that that happens? I would say it's having a definitive date on a sneak peek or mentorship and a challenge group start date, and the numbers of places available and filling up as you go. And strategically post, like we all know this, but why am I putting this out there? Why am I putting this out there for every single post you do, apart from maybe 1 in 7 days, where I think it's quite nice to do something that's not related to coaching so that people can just see that you're a real human too. I think that's really important, and something that I didn't do for a long time. I think it's important to do 1 post in a week where you're just you, so it can resonate with you. But with every post, you want to be thinking about, why am I putting this out there? Okay, what is it helping me with my business with? And if you're producing a post that doesn't relate to your business at all, and it's just like generally helping people, why are you putting it out there? Because you're wasting your time. You could be just following up or inviting if that's what you're gonna do. What is the purpose, and where am I calling them to go? Okay, so, you know, like today I did a post and I was sharing about my own issues with food and how I like loathe my body and have no body confidence, and I get you, I can help you. That's what we do in my challenge group. So I'm pointing at the challenge group opportunity right now because I'm calling to action my prep week tomorrow, and I'm subtly talking about the challenge group. Despite the fact I'm talking about coaching, I'm subtly pointing at the challenge group right now because that's what I'm calling people to action. It's very strategic. And that, as a newer coach, I'll be honest, it took me a long time to figure that piece out. Like I would just post whatever and then I'd be like, why aren't I filling this? Because it all needs to make sense. Stories connect to post. What do I need to do differently? Create action steps and prioritize. Okay, so this is again great for end of February. What worked well, what didn't? What do I need to do differently? And what action steps am I going to create to prioritize that thing that didn't produce the result I wanted? And share what went well and what didn't go so well with your team. So like I'll happily share that I found like invites and follow-ups honestly personally difficult this month because I wasn't feeling it in my personal life. I just wasn't that happy. And so, and we'll talk about this a lot in the business, right? When you're not feeling happy and content, as I said about that mindset piece earlier, you don't feel in that mood to want to invite people because you're not in that energy in that place. And you can't force that, guys. That takes work, and sometimes you can't sort that stuff overnight. But it's interesting how when you make that shift and that moment passes and you work through it, then you'll feel on it. So I think my biggest challenge last month was just getting in my head, which is the risk and danger in this business, right? Because we spend a lot of time on our own. So getting out of your head, for me. Share, implement, refine, protect is what Melanie said. Share, implement, refine, protect. So share what you're doing, implement it, refine it. So that's like going back, what worked well about this and what didn't, and then protect it. Protect that time for that task that worked well. And this was interesting. Only 8% of people in Melanie's business who set their goals are achieving them. And that's just the general population. So think about that. And that comes down to mindset again. Like, that's really interesting. Resilience. She was asked what was the number one like thing that she could testament people's success to, and she said resilience, getting back up no matter what. And I love that. Like, I think we have a lot of that in our team, right? Get back up no matter what. And yeah, there are going to be some seriously hard times in your business, in your personal life, collectively, and it's going to affect your business, but getting back up no matter what, like we all know how to do that. And I think I've pretty much covered everything in here. This was interesting, and something like maybe you guys can chip in. Melanie does 30-minute push and invite calls where she breaks down exactly what she does in her invites and helps her coaches, her newer coaches, know how simple it is. Do you think that would be helpful? Yeah, so we could do it for newer coaches, like just do like invite specific calls. So I might look at doing that. running retreats to incentivize coaches to diamond. Well, we know that's what we do in this team. Yeah. Was there anything anybody wanted to ask? Could we spend a business builders call doing a power hour? Yes, of course we can. Yeah. So like maybe, I don't know whether you want to unmute yourself. Do you want to do a power hour after the team call next Sunday? Do you want to do that? Does that work? Yeah. And we could maybe, so tomorrow, I meant to mention this in our team call. Tomorrow I'm doing the first call for the UK business builders, where I'm going to be talking about what I do to invite to coaching. And then I'm going to be doing a power hour. Now I can get you that link, guys, actually. And I think it's at a time that you guys could potentially do. It's at 8 p.m. UK, which is going to be midday Pacific and 3 p.m. Eastern. Don't know if, do you want me to send the link? Yeah. Yeah. So, but let's do that next Sunday. Let's do that. And I can maybe just go through like how I'm going to invite as we go through. Does that sound good?
Yeah, like I was going to ask, I would like to have a little bit more information on like the invite and follow-ups, because I find that, like you were mentioning, how it's the same girls over and over again that are, every time I have like a poll or you know, if anyone would like more information, it's always the same girls asking for more information, but like I've already given them everything and I don't know what more information they want. So I'm sorry?
When they do the poll, what do you say to them?
Well, like you know, I give the whole bunch of stories about either the boot camp or the coaching, and then at the end of the poll, I'd be like, "Who's interested in signing up?" And then it says, "Yes, sign me up," or "More info, please." And like they always choose the more info button. So then I talk to them and I say, "Well, if you'd like, you know, I can send you an email, get you a link to our team page. I send the YouTube video links." So I've done that the first time. Mm-hmm. And then the second time, again, if I put another poll on, because I'm trying to reach out more people, it's the same girls that say the more information. So then I ask them, I'm like, "Oh, so you watched our videos? Was there anything that you had questions about? What can I help you with?" But like they're constantly asking for more information, but they're not letting me know what it is that's missing.
So my answer to that, and that was something I spoke to Tasha actually about earlier on this week, is that this is something that I've been learning through like you know, sometimes you change something slightly and it just takes you time to see how this pattern works and what people want to see. What I'm seeing is that coaches or potential coaches go into a sneak peek, okay? They might go into a sneak peek 6 months ago, and then I might follow up with them. They're like, not ready yet, not ready yet, not ready yet. Since I've been doing new sneak peeks, and what I've been doing, I think you guys know, is inviting old sneak peekers into that sneak peek. And I think sometimes, Marty, they just need to see another sneak peek. They need to see the information again. They need to build connection with you again. And the closest way you're going to get to building connection and trust is a video content. So they probably just need another sneak peek. And I said to Tasha actually on the call, like, if you guys want me to go live in your sneak peek, just for like 3 minutes, just to share my piece, to kind of connect the team piece. Sometimes they just need a little bit more info or a little bit more to build trust. And that's what's stopping them. It's kind of, they want more info, but they kind of don't. I don't think it's they want more info. I think they just want to trust it a bit more. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's, you know, doing a sneak peek every month, and I know you're doing that anyway, and re-inviting those people that I've seen, and that's where I'm starting to really get traction. Tara. I just think you've got to be honest, Tara, and you've got to share this was something actually that Janine, who did the Leadership Live a couple of weeks ago, said probably about a year ago, and she's seeing real success in her business now. And she said, I think it was to Lindsay Barry, she said, "I don't know how to share it. I don't know how to post about coaching because I haven't seen that much success yet. And I'm not doing it full time. And so I feel like a fraud," which I think is like, it's that imposter syndrome. We all have that to a certain degree. But I think, you know, and this is something I've shared in other calls, like if you share your vision with it, and it doesn't have to be huge, it's whatever your vision is with it, Tara, like whatever you see for your life, share that, and share also what coaching has brought to your life so far. Because it doesn't matter if you haven't got some big, you know, story to, like, people just want to resonate with what has brought you this energy and enthusiasm for it. And I know, like, a lot of coaches will say this, they don't want what it is you've got, i.e. the coaching or the program. They want to feel how you feel. And so if you can get across the way that you feel about the coaching, i.e. you love it, you're enthusiastic, it's done X, Y, and Z for you, whether or not it's got you in great shape or it's just added something to your life that you needed at a time when you were looking for something more, that's still going to resonate with people. And then just sharing a bit about, you know, this is where I'm on my journey and this is where it's going for me. And then, you know, if you want, as I said, like, if any of you, and I never want to like take over your sneak peeks, and obviously it's totally up to you, but if you want me to go live in your sneak peeks for like 2-3 minutes and just do a little summary of where I'm at, it perhaps helps them piece that all together. So I would just say, like, yes, fake it till you make it, but don't make stuff up. Like, don't not be you. Do you know what I mean? Like, fake it till you make it in the sense of, like, yes, that's your vision and that's your vision for you. And that is faking it till you make it, but that's your vision and that's true to you. That's not being inauthentic, right?
Yeah. What about like in terms of like money bits? Because I've had some girls ask like very like detailed questions about like sort of how much money I've made, and I don't want to, like, I'm not gonna lie, obviously, but then if you say like, oh, I've like just made my money back or something along those lines, that's not that impressive to tell somebody when you're talking about coaching. Or do you try to like sidestep the bits?
I don't try to sidestep. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so for me, I made my investment back within the first month because I did. And I think it's important when people ask that question, like, something that I would always say is, if you're focusing immediately on the income, this is probably never going to work for you, because
That's a good one.
see the value of the opportunity first, and we need to focus on you falling in love with this. And yes, we will aim to get you making your investment back within the first month, because genuinely that is my aim as a coach for any one of my coaches, and it's absolutely doable because that's Success Club. Like for you, just so you know, that's someone hitting Success Club. But they can't see the value of the opportunity yet, so they're asking you about money. And if they're gonna come into this opportunity just focusing on money, I'll be honest, it's probably never gonna be for them.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when I do the sneak peek, and I know this is something Mackenzie does, when we talk about how we earn, I'm gonna have to go in a second because Arthur's kicking off. The first thing I will say about how we earn is, if you're coming into this just worrying about how you're going to earn, this is never going to be for you, because you need to be genuinely passionate about working on your own self, about helping others, and the rest will follow. If you focus on the income first, it's not going to be for you. So I almost pull the rug away and say, if you're going to talk about money and that's going to be your main focus, get lost, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Because it's true. Like, if someone comes into this business just focusing on this, it's never going to work, because they're passionate buying with health and fitness and helping other people.
Yeah, no, that's a good comeback. And then it would kind of make them feel either, yeah, it's not for me, or they'll be like, oh, right. And then you can have a more detailed conversation and get them off of it. Yeah.
But I think just always, don't ever lie, always be honest, but always call them out on stuff that, like, if someone's saying to me like, but how am I going to earn money? I'm like, okay, cool, this probably isn't going to be for you. Like, it just makes me feel icky, the fact that they're just talking about money immediately, because they're setting up their own business. And if you set up your own business, you're not going to suddenly, like, you know, it's not a get rich quick scheme, right? As we said earlier. So hopefully that was helpful. But if you guys want to get on one-on-ones with me, I know I offer most of you guys one-on-ones here. Please let me know. Like, I'm here to help. If you want me to like audit your page, when like audited Tasha's page the other day, she asked me to do it. I'm here to help, and I will do anything I can to help you get to your goals, not mine. So just let me know. And I know we've got phenomenal talent here. And what is so amazing for me to see right now is all of you guys here on this call are leading your own sneak peeks, and you're doing it completely independent of me, going off and you're doing it, you're learning, you're getting involved with other people in the team, and that's why you guys are going to see this success. So well done. And I'll see you next Sunday if I don't see you before. All right, guys. Are there any other questions? I'm sorry, I can just hear my son like screaming at my husband downstairs for some reason. So I'm gonna have to go, but thank you and good luck. Get those plans written up, and I'll see you guys soon.